Hey guys, I'm back. And in this unit, we're going to talk a little bit about drawing hands. Not magic hands or anything like that, but actual hands. And there's a reason why I'm putting hands in a course about mechs and robots and stuff, right? I keep repeating again and again how so many of our designs revolve around the human design, right? Like that's really why so much of this is familiar to us. And I would say, I don't know, out of the hundreds, thousands of mechs I've looked at and drawn, maybe 80% have humanoid hands, right? So why is that? Why do we have humanoid hands? Not just because as humans we recognize that design, we're familiar with that design, but because it freaking works. We get to grip things, right? We get to grab onto things. There's a certain great dexterity that comes with our little digits here, right? So normally this is done in a human anatomy course or whatever, but I wanted to throw it in here so that you guys could have at least a base understanding of drawing hands. I'm not going to go into, every fine point of anatomy with it. That's not the purpose here. I want to be able to have you watch this unit and feel comfortable with drawing hands in different poses, formations. I don't know how to say that, but you get my drift. So look at all my hand motion in this. When I start talking about hands, I'm showing all this hand motion through it all. Right? Anyways, let's get to it. Okay, so we've got hands, right? We've got these hands right in front of us here, and seems simple enough. What I like to do is make it kind of basic. I'm just going to draw a circle and draw a circle. Okay, good enough. Now, this circle doesn't really work. I'll even draw it over the bones here, right? This circle doesn't work because certain things go outside of that circle and stuff, right? So what I start to do is I start to hunt down the knuckles. Okay, now once I've got that down, once I've got the 4 and the 1, obviously we're working with 5 digits here, I kind of start to connect the dots a little bit more. Let's see if this works. So if I was to draw this, I might come below here, and you could draw it a few times, right? I would come in and draw 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 down here on the other side. Obviously 1, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But then I would start to just, it's almost like this type of shape, right? Starting to look a little bit like a pentagon. So if I was to make it look like how it does without the circle overlay, basically I'm chopping away this part here, right? I'm not including that little corner there, right? So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's the pattern I want you guys to be able to get down. So draw a circle, draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then just cut away at it and sweep it around, okay? That's how simple that is. Okay, the next point, look at this in proportion. Okay, let's see if we can get some proportions down here. 1, 2. Okay, so the finger length is, especially I like to use the index finger length, use it at that as a gauge, right? This index finger length to the base of the palm is the same going up. Okay, let's see, try that again. So here's the base, go to the index finger, 1, 2, draw it up there. That's where the fingers are gonna go to. Okay. Obviously, these fingers follow the pattern below, right? They follow, and everybody's a little bit different for lengths of fingers, and I hear hormones and all that play into it and stuff, right? But we're following this pattern here, so it'll go something along those lines, right? Come down in there. Okay. This is the base. Like I said, kind of like the pentagon, slightly, but a little askewed, right? One thing, though, I want you to get used to is this circle has depth to it. Imagine it almost like a disc, because right now we're looking at these hands flat on, right? But obviously as I turn them, you can see there's some meat to it, right? Some depth. So why don't we try to do this? Let's go over here and we'll just do a circle on top of this reference, right? We'll put it as if it's like that, right? But remember, the circle kind of comes off to the side here. So it comes off a little bit like that. Okay, do you see? Remember we cut into it a little bit there, right? So let's do that again. This is a bit of an oval, but it comes like this, and that's our depth. And then where would we plot? Well, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then our thumb out here, right? Okay, see if that makes any sense. So then obviously our digits are something along this way, right? And this is without even referencing the length or anything. We're just kind of guessing here, right? Now, once we get this down, why don't we do it a few more times, actually? Just, I want you to get this part down. So we draw a circle, and we come up and bring it back in. And then we find 1, 2, 3, 4, and the thumb. Try it again. Beside, we're going to draw a little disc. We're going to come out for the thumb and go up. So give it some depth, come up for the thumb and go up. Then we're going to find our thumb. 1, 2, 3, 4. How's that work for you so far? We're going to have a little bit on the edge here and come up. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And the thumb is out here. And keep practicing, guys. Like, we can stretch these into ovals sometimes, right? This one comes out a little bit down low, just the way this hand's stretched and posed. He's stretching it a little bit, right? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can see how this still works as in it's coming up this way, right? We come to the peak and then taper off. Come to the peak of the middle finger, taper off, right? Okay. Work it beside if you want. Like this. And put a little bit of depth to it. And then add it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Something like that. So you can draw next to the example or on top of the example. I give a whole lot of examples here. Okay. Yeah, why don't we do it below? So this would be here. Oops, I'm going to switch back to blue. Here, but it's coming this way. This one's kind of flat on, so it doesn't really do much for us. So we've got our thumb, 1, 2, 3, 4 for our top fingers, right? And then where are these suckers going? Well, this one's coming up to here to a joint, here to a joint, and out. Here to a joint, here to a joint, and out. Here, here, and out. Here, here, and out. And this one's here and out. So now we're going to get into these other joints, the smaller joints, the smaller points of articulation in the finger, right? This one here looks a little bit like an octopus. Why don't we go through and try to grab these joints? See if we can identify them a little bit, right? There's one that's here and one that's here. Okay. Thumb's a funny thing because it actually, the hinge is starting way down here. If we come here, we can see it's here, right? But we also hinge just slightly on this one. The whole hand has a slight bendability to it, a malleability, but this thumb has a bit of a extra little bit of hinge to it, right? So keep on going. Let's do some more here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. Here and here. 1, 2, right? Which one isn't obvious? The fist. This one might be harder. So let's say we draw our circle here and we give it some depth. And it comes out to the thumb there, right? So we've got a hinge here, 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 here. And you can see I'm kind of drawing through, right? And what's happening is this is up here folding in. This one's folding over. This one's folding in. This one's folding in. This one's folding in. And so we won't see it all. We won't see all of these points, but we're going to see a fair bit of them here. We'll see this one, 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 right? So we're kind of trying to draw through just that little bit so we can understand what's happening here, right? Okay, guys. This is a big one, right? And of course, even though we can't see it, we know where all the main hinge knuckle joints are, right? And so what are they doing? Well, they're wrapping around this. So they're coming out, in, out, in, out, in, and wrapping in, right? Okay. This one's coming out, bend, like that. And this one's coming over the gun like that. And this is what I want you to practice. So on this sheet, keep practicing. Do it at different angles, maybe. Like it's coming at you, different hand poses like this. And once you're done this sheet, once you've figured out, okay, well, this is where all these knuckles are going, right? I'm going to place them all and just work them and work this sheet as much as possible, right? Once you've done that, stop. Make sure you've got it. And then I've drawn out some extra ones for you. So this is an extra worksheet for you here. Okay, guys, I know that this might seem a little fast. And I got to say, in my human anatomy course, we go a little bit more in depth into it and stuff like that. But as far as drawing MECHS go and bots, I think this, using the disc technique, thinking of this as a disc with a slight jut on the side, I think this will work, right? So use it and let's see what you got. Let's see if you can move some hands. Have fun with it, guys.